Our immune system staying strong, along with sleeping well at night, I believe are the top two tells for how healthy we are, and our bowel movements. Our immune systems, how well we sleep, and our bowel movements. We can't be in denial of any of these three things. And this diet right here, this high starch diet, has my bowel movements beautiful and healthy, has me meeting my fuel needs, so I'm sleeping well at night, and has my immune system rock solid because I'm meeting my fuel needs. I am not pushing protein, I'm not pushing dehydration, and I am not under eating. Once I found this diet, I finally succeeded because I've tried every other diet there is on the planet and none of them have worked. Hey trophies, welcome to another What I Eat in a Day by Trophy Sally. Thank you so much for joining me. I've made another What I Eat in a Day video. It's in the description box below, so you can check that out next if you want. I want to touch more on the importance of hydration and the importance of good digestion, assimilation, and elimination, and the importance of sleep. I really do feel like hydration and good digestion and optimal sleep really does have us living our healthiest life. And movement is a huge part of all of this as well. And that's why we jump instead. We love jumping on our mini trampolines at home any time of day. It brings energy into our bodies. It helps us aid in digestion. It keeps our lymphatic system pumped, so it keeps our immune system strong. And then of course it builds every muscle in our entire bodies, and it keeps our joints flexible. And that's so important. We don't want any stiffness accumulating in our bodies. And so having a rebounder at home is an excellent idea for every single person in the entire world. You just need to have it in your home, and then you need to bounce on it. And if you want to do workouts on it and you want to build your best trophy body with your rebounder, then you can follow our workouts here on I Jump Instead YouTube. So let's go ahead and get started with this What I Eat in a Day. I'm so excited to get into it because I love everything that I eat, and what I eat keeps cravings at bay. I don't crave junk food because of what I eat. I don't have binges out on the weekends or on vacation because of what I eat, and I find that that helps me to stay healthier overall year round. And so this menu here is so satisfying and so easy, world, and I hope that you learned something from this video because eating a starch-based diet is so satisfying. And so if you're interested in eating a starch-based diet, you're gonna love this What I Eat in a Day video. Let's go ahead and start with what I start with every morning, which is water, because water helps everything in the digestion run smoother. And so I start with water, and I aim to drink a gallon of water every day. And that means that I have to go out of my way to take chugs from this gallon of water. And so I actually like to aim to drink water before meals because then it sets up my digestion for success, and then I will eat. If I'm thirsty after a meal, I will have some water, but I try not to have too much water because I don't want my food sloshing around in my stomach. So I'll wait like an hour or two after I eat to start really putting water in. But if I am thirsty after a meal, I'll drink. But if I drink water before I eat, I'm usually not thirsty after I eat. And then I aim to drink as much of this gallon as I can by the end of the day. This really does set me up for trophy success. So every morning I start with coffee. I actually just got a couple new coffees from Costco. I got Cafe Vita and this seasonal cheer blend. You'll have to let me know if you've had either one this holiday season. I'm so excited. I like to have a cup of coffee every morning. I always like to have a cereal bar with my coffee in the morning. So I have either a Trader Joe's cereal bar or a Nutri-Grain bar. And this bar is like a pastry. It satisfies that pastry tooth, you know? How many of us want to go on vacation and get a coffee and a pastry? How many of us want to go to Starbucks and treat ourselves to a pastry with our coffee? Well, having this for only 130 calories makes me feel like I'm having a pastry every single morning. And it also helps me to digest the caffeine better so that the caffeine isn't sitting on an empty stomach. And it's only 130 calories. And so I absolutely absolutely love having one of these with my coffee every morning, and then I run on that energy for an hour or two, and then I get to my first meal of the day, which is French toast. And so I make French toast for myself most mornings. So this is bread and an egg. I like to mix some vanilla and cinnamon and milk into the egg, and then I put the bread in and make this beautiful French toast along with powdered sugar on top and maple syrup. And this is what I have for breakfast, and I have as much as I desire, and then I get on to more things that I'm doing in my day, whether that's filming membership workouts for our YouTube membership, rebounding classes, or I go to yoga. And then when I get home from yoga, I sometimes have more French toast because if I have some of this left over with an additional protein shake, but I don't always have that. That's actually what I put in my last What I Eat in a Day video that I made. Sometimes I just get right to lunch. And so I've got lunch options here, but first I want to share with you this rice pudding option that I have. Sometimes I'll have this when I get home from yoga or I'm done with my work for the morning with jumping. And this is just brown rice and white rice pudding. And so it's made with almond milk and some country crock butter and sugar and cinnamon and a little salt. And I just cook the rice and then I put it in the milk, in the sugar and the vanilla and the cinnamon, and let it simmer on the stove until it gets nice and thick. I'm gonna put all of these recipes at the end of the video. This is the country crock butter that I use for the rice pudding. And also I put a layer of this on my French toast in the morning. It keeps me satisfied. And again, when I have butter like this, I don't crave the rich butter when I go out. So restaurants, for example, sometimes at the beginning of a meal, you could go to a restaurant and they'll serve bread and butter, right? Well, I have butter every single day in the form of this plant butter. So when I go out to a restaurant, I don't crave the high fat dairy butter that they serve with the bread. And so I opt out of it. I meet my craving needs at home so I don't have the high fat, high sugar, high calorie, splurgy foods out and about. And so I choose my battles, and I really do feel like having these foods at home keeps me healthier overall and keeps me super satisfied year round. So if I'm ready to go straight to savory when I get home from yoga or when I'm done with my work or whenever I'm ready for my savory meal in the afternoon, I will have a burrito most days. These are made in advance. These are large flautas. And so I just put beans, I'll show you the beans. I put beans into a bowl with some plant cheese and salsa, and I just mixed it all together. And then I took big spoonfuls and put them into these tortillas. And then I baked this at 400 for 15 to 20 minutes until the tortillas started to look crispy. And now these are ready to rock and roll, and I can reheat these anytime, and they freeze really well as well. Making a burrito on the spot is super easy too. I don't need to cook them in advance, but having them cooked in advance makes for fast, easy food. And so flautas are a great way to have that lunch ready to rock. They're also great for taking with me if I leave the house and I'm away from my home and I need to have some food on me. So this is an option that I like to have. And also cornbread. This cornbread is made with corn flour, cornmeal, and all-purpose flour. And this is a super staple for me. I love to have cornbread made. Basically, eating a starch-based diet is so much fun because we can take all of the grains, wheat, corn, rice, oats, quinoa, the list just keeps going on, and then we eat them in the form of whatever we can make with all of these grains. And we can ask ChatGPT too, what can I make with corn? What can I make with wheat? What can I make with rice? What can I make with oats? The options are endless, and we can find what works for us and what is sustainable for us and what is healthy and low in fat. And then we can make it often and thrive on this menu because grains make everything. They are the foundation of almost everything healthy. And this food keeps us energized and meets our fuel needs so our immune systems stay strong. And these are all carbohydrates. And so our bodies are more hydrated eating these starches than they are eating proteins and fats, or focusing on proteins and veggies in the form of salads with high-fat dressing on them. That is not hydrating our body like carbohydrates hydrate our body, along with aiming for up to a gallon of water a day, 3 liters to 4 liters of water a day. And this keeps our immune system strong. Our immune system staying strong, along with sleeping well at night, I believe are the top 2 tells for how healthy we are, and our bowel movements. Okay, our immune systems, how well we sleep, and our bowel movements. We can't be in denial of any of these 3 things. And this diet right here, this high starch diet, has my bowel movements beautiful and healthy, has me meeting my fuel needs, so I'm sleeping well at night, and has my immune system rock solid because I'm meeting my fuel needs. I am not pushing protein, I'm not pushing dehydration, and I am not under eating. Once I found this diet, I finally succeeded, because I've tried every other diet there is on the planet and none of them have worked. What else do we got here to show you? I've got my favorite new cereal over here. We've got this Chex. This is insane. Like, look at what Costco provides, okay? Costco provides a box of all 3 grains in the form of these Chex cereals. Insane. Absolutely awesome right here. And then I've got original almond milk and vanilla almond milk here. I sometimes buy unsweetened almond milk too. Bada bing, bada boom, easy meal, any time of day, ready to rock. And then I add sugar to it to my heart's desire. If the cereal is sweet enough on its own with the milk and just the cereal, and I take a bite and I say, this is satisfying, then I don't add the sugar. But if I take a bite and my taste buds say that this is not sweet enough, I add sugar, and then I enjoy it. It makes it so much more satisfying and gives me that extra energy that my body's asking for, because my taste buds are telling me that the food isn't sweet enough. We really do need to talk more to our bodies. We need to listen more, and we need to communicate more with our bodies. Our eyeballs see our food, and that's a form of communicating to us the smell of food, the taste of food, and how our stomachs feel when we look at the food and when we think about food. This is all how we communicate with our food. And we want to have a relationship with ourselves and with our food so that we know when we're hungry and we know when to stop. And then we know how the food is making us feel. There actually is more to food than we all realize. Some foods digest slower and some foods digest faster, which means they're gonna feel different when they digest, which means if we're understanding the difference, then we work with it. So if we eat a faster digesting food, for example, more refined carbohydrates, then after we eat that food, since we're having faster digestion, we need to be in a faster motion to meet the faster digestion, meaning we need to be in movement. If we're not going to be moving, maybe we have a job where we're sitting a lot, then we actually want to eat slower digesting carbohydrates, more of a blend of refined and whole carbohydrates, or even more wholesome carbohydrate meals, because we're not in motion. And so we actually want to slow the digestion down so we can feel a little bit more grounded while we don't move. Because if we eat fast digesting food and then we don't move, our brain is going to be buzzing, our body is going to be buzzing, but we're not exerting that energy. And so we're connecting now with our carbohydrates. We're keeping our menu simple by focusing on carbohydrates. And then we get to know all of the different carbohydrates and how quickly these carbohydrates digest for us. If they're in their whole form, they're going to digest a little slower. And if they're in their refined form, they're going to digest quicker. If we have a blend of whole and refined, then they're going to digest somewhere in the middle of fast and slow. And we're gonna learn, this meal digested fast, I felt really energized afterwards. This meal digested a little slower, and we're in tune with it. And then we need to move as much as we can, at least immediately after we eat. Maybe we can't keep moving because for our work, we're not moving much. Maybe we're just using that brain power, which needs so many calories. Our brains need so much fuel, right? But we're not using our muscles. We're just sitting, typing, working, and whatnot. But immediately after we eat, we should do some form of movement in order to help our bodies digest and assimilate the food that we have eaten. And then we can get to non-movement if that is how we have to roll because of our jobs. But if we can be in movement, that really is good for our bodies to be in movement, whether we're cooking, whether we're cleaning, whether we're helping people, whether we're working, whether we're jumping, whatever we're doing in our day, movement really is a huge part of health and healthy digestion. With that being said, I want you to know that you're gonna be learning as you go, and it's gonna be a beautiful new experience of understanding how carbohydrates are here to serve you and to keep you healthy and to keep your immune system strong and to keep you energized and to get you sleeping really hard at night and to fuel your workouts so you don't need to rely on extra motivation or extra caffeine. Now you're meeting your fuel needs, and so you feel good and you want to jump more and you want to move more. And then all of a sudden you're building more muscle because starches have protein in them. And then you're sprinkling a little bit of protein and fat into your diet. You'll learn more about this in the videos in the description box below. So you're more than meeting your protein needs, and you finally have this consistent energy to resistance train and build your muscles. And now you're actually building your muscles and you're losing the body fat on top of your muscles so you can see the muscles you're building. And so if we focus on starches and we get that fuel into our cells and we get that extra protein in our starches, along with sprinkling in the fats and the proteins, we're also adding in the sugar so we can have a little extra energy without the extra volume in our stomach, because sometimes we don't want to eat as large of portions. And so having a little bit of sugar to go in can help us meet our energy needs with a little bit less volume in our stomach. We really do get to live this easy world trophy life through and through. Healthy body, healthy mind, fast recovery, the list goes on and on. This starch-based diet has finally made me successful in my life. I have built muscles, jawline to feet. I have lost so much body fat and I have regained my health. I have such a strong immune system. I sleep well at night. I'm hydrated. I have incredible bowel movements. The list goes on. And if you're inspired to eat this way too, then I hope this video taught you something. Please like the video if you did learn something, and make sure to wait for the recipes because they are coming next. I will see you very soon, trophies. Lots of love. Comment below if you have any questions. Bye for now.